This is Seasons of Discontent with your hosts Rick Snyder and Matt Combs on the Hogstein Network.
Welcome to Seasons of Discontent, Season 8, Episode 4, brought to you by Rick Snyder's Washington across social media. And I'm Rick Snyder.
I'm Matt.
And we're on the mighty YouTube network now, so please like, share, subscribe, comment, even hit that thanks button, especially the thanks button. All right, Matt, we're going to blitz through a bunch of things. Let's go with team sale first. What do you think's happening? Okay, I'll start this one.
All right, things happening?
All right, Roger Goodell said during the draft that basically things are getting close and they expect an announcement in May. At the end of the day, Josh Harris is the guy that put the money on the table. You know, not Stevie A from Canada, not Jeff Bezos, not Brian Davis, or any of these things. Yeah, well, and Fertitta put up a bid, but it wasn't quite as high. But basically, they're just going through the Harris thing, has 14 different people. Magic Johnson is a 4% owner, which cost him $250 million. That's what kind of money we're talking. You know, that Josh Harris has 30%, Mitchell Rales. People say, you know Mitchell Rales. I go, the dude's an art collector. How would I know Mitchell Rales? You know, I'm as far away from his world as, you know, rich art people. You know, I got redneck, you know, sports people. But, you know, I don't know how it's going to work there. But it'll probably, they'll have it by the May 20th owners meeting as far as talking about it. I expect a June vote. It doesn't matter at this point. Dan Snyder's already gone. It wasn't even part of the draft at all. You know, that's all in the rear view mirror. So while you can't, you know, pop the cork yet, it's pretty much done.
I'm surprised you don't know Mitchell Rales. I'm going to read you straight from his Wikipedia page. In the 1980s, the AM side of radio station WGMS was sold off to Rales, who converted it to WTEM, which is the Team 980 now, a sports talk station.
Which I never appeared on because they were a bunch of punks who were mistreating me because I was the best reporter in town back then.
Oh, Rick, don't get on the bad side of the new owner. Come on, man.
Well, they were all punks, you know, because Tony Kornheiser's boys didn't want me to look like I was kicking their paper's butt. So, you know, whatever. It was a lot of, there's still some hostility between certain people there and I. And it's been years. I went 25 years without being on 980 until a few years ago, the Rooster had me on. Because 106.7, the fan that I work for, bought 980.
I was going to say they both are owned by Odyssey now.
Yeah. So, you know, so I was on finally. I go on 980 once in a while, but so I don't know Mitchell Rales. I never put any money in my pocket. So that's where we stand on that. Next one, Ron Rivera. Everybody keeps talking about, well, Ron Rivera will be gone next year. I did a video today on Rick Snyder's Washington and said, not so fast. Nobody's saying that he's a dead man walking. That's just an assumption. If they get to the playoffs, I'm sure he stays. You know, and they might. I don't know. You know, there's a lot. The new owners have to look at a lot of things before they do that. It's not an automatic. It's not if they start 1-4, he gets fired at midseason. I think people are jumping way too fast, as people do. I mean, we're already looking at 2024 mock drafts. You know, it's America today. But I wouldn't say Ron's definitely gone next year.
Oh, I think he is.
I think it's more likely he is.
I think he is because they're going to go 5-12. If you want to be honest, I mean, here's the deal. I think honestly, look, Harris. I go back to that article in the Philadelphia Inquirer. Harris is going to come in. He's going to hire people to do their jobs. He's going to hire football people to do their jobs. Harris. His idea is to look for bright young people to run his teams so he doesn't have to. So unfortunately, I can see Jason Wright is gone. I think Jason Wright's going to the NFL offices anyway. That kid's smart as a whip. I think Rivera's done. I think Marty and Marty are done. Eric Bieniemy will get a chance to stay. Maybe he gets elevated to head coach. We don't know. But I do believe that I do believe this whole staff is done.
I just think there's a lot to say before it happens. Yeah, if I had to throw my money on it, I would bet a change, but I won't say exactly. And it comes down to a lot of the sked too. The NFL sked is rumored to come out on May 11th, but that's not a definite. But we won't know really until next week. Then here's a way to cheat and find out. Next Sunday, go to your TV guide, on screen, and look for Thursday at 8 o'clock on the NFL Network. Although if you have Comcast right now, you don't get the NFL Network. That fell apart today. But that's where you have to. If you might see a box there, it says it, and then you're like, okay, it's done. I've noticed that in recent years. I was thinking, how many primetime games would this team have? And I thought, well, and the third Thanksgiving too. You got probably a Dallas game coming on Thanksgiving this time. I bet you the Jets game won't surprise me because it's now, Aaron Rodgers. Got to get him on more. So I'll put my over under at 4 for primetime games.
Oh, I'd say 2 tops.
Wow. Man, I'm the sister sunshine of this
Well,
show.
I don't know. You do have you've got the Eagles twice. You've got the Bills. They're a darling of the NFL. You've got San Francisco. Like you said, the Jets with the Aaron Rodgers effect. You got the Patriots. You get the Rams. I tell you what, I'll up it to 3.
See, if Bezos had gotten them, we would have played every Thursday night. It would have been awesome to have my weekends free.
Well, yeah, we would have been rebranded the Washington Primes.
Yeah, and play Thursday nights. It would have been awesome.
Right. It would have been great. We would have had our whole weekend.
So Washington decided they're not giving Chase Young the 5th-year extension, which would have cost him like 17 mil or something crazy. And Ron Rivera basically says, you want it, you got to earn it. Nothing wrong with that because Chase hasn't earned it at this point. And I wondered, would they trade him during the draft? Was there a chance? I thought probably unlikely. Ron doesn't do things like that. But I don't know. I don't see him being tradable because partly you'll get a compensation pick anyway if he signs elsewhere next year. I say give him the 4th year to figure out, did this pick work or not? And if it didn't, well, then you move on. But it's, you don't want to let him be healthy and then watch him go play, all out for somebody else. So I wouldn't have given him the 5th either in the end. But it's complicated because Montez Sweat's going to be a free agent too, which means you probably lose one, doubt you keep both, just on the cap.
And I think Sweat's obviously the cheaper option, even though he's had better production. But, and it's really going to suck watching that guy. If he does, if Chase does flame out, we're always going to be reminded that we were a missed 2-point conversion away against the Dolphins from having Joe Burrow. But you know what? Joe Burrow probably would have turned into Ryan Tannehill here.
Yeah, we can't have nice things here. I mean,
no.
That's how it works. Yeah, you'd like to say, well, they could have gotten Justin Herbert instead. I mean, you usually want to take a quarterback there more than, this guy was supposed to be the great defensive player. And for a year.
Yeah, you can't fault him. This was a generational type defensive player. I mean, just so happened he got hurt. He shredded his knee. I mean, it is what it is. Look, we paid Ryan Fitzpatrick $10 million and hyped up all the Fitz magic, and he went out and played a quarter and broke his hip and never was to be seen from again. So, it is what it is. I mean, I am begging Josh Harris, when you buy this team, get yourself a stadium, please, and turn it to real grass and take care of it. Manicure that field, please. I'm tired of having all my guys getting hurt every season.
I think the Commanders going for $6 billion is actually too much, because if we look at Denver, it was $4.65 billion. What's the difference? Well, okay, Washington's the 8th biggest market. Denver's the 16th. Okay, twice as many people. But Denver's got a stadium they don't have to replace. Denver's got every Broncos fan for 100 miles out there in that region of the country. Everybody's a fan. Here, you're going to spend another $2 billion or plus, whatever, to get a stadium. So that's going to be on there. Your fan base has been beat to death. You're going to have to rebuild that. I don't think you should have had to pay $6 billion for it.
But can you imagine if this team in 2 or 3 years is competitive again and is they're not cutting to commercial during our draft picks, and we are having 4 or 5 primetime games, and look at what the Defenders have done. And I'll just mention that real quick. Defenders play May 13th for the XFL championship. They have sold out Audi Field. Now, granted, it's 18,000 people. but they have sold out Audi Field. The place is raucous. I mean, they're the hottest team in the XFL. They only lost one game, and let's be honest, it was a trap game. You can multiply that by 10 if you come in here. And look, Rick, they're going to get 10, 20, 30,000 fans back just by Dan Snyder not being associated with the team anymore. I mean, let's be honest. As soon 1067 is already talking about having a parade when he's gone. When that sale is final, they want to throw a parade in the city. People want to celebrate the fact that the guy sells the team. You've never heard of this before. At least I never have in my 40 years on this planet. You know, every other time that a team has been sold, it's just because their owners died or caught up in scandal like Carolina and like the Clippers and stuff. I mean, those aren't celebrated moves. This is going to be, a lot of people look at this as a reboot. This is a franchise reboot. And you're going to gain probably 20, 30,000 new fans back. It's going to take a while for the other ones to come around, but Josh Harris has the chance to come in here and be deemed the savior. I read your article and I watched your video when you were talking about he'll never be as loved as Jack Kent Cooke. Nobody will be, but he has a chance to be number 2 because Dan sure as hell is going to be way far down on that list. You know, George Preston Marshall. Is there anybody alive that remembers that guy? I mean, come on. Yeah. Now. Plus, he was a racist. So, you know, we're not going to talk about him being one of the best owners, but Josh Harris has something. He has a chance to do something that we've never seen in sports before. It's the ultimate redemption story. Is the team worth $6 billion? I don't know, but that's what he's paying for it. So,
yeah. You know. All right. As we thunder down to the end, the Kentucky Derby is Saturday. And I used to cover the Derby every year for 20 years. So I still do picks. People want to know. I'm not giving out a pick. Sorry. Friday or Saturday morning, come to Rick Snyder's Washington for the 2-minute videos. But I'll just say Forte is 3-1. I don't know about that one. Angel of Empire, I like a lot, 8-1. Sun Thunder and Confidence Game. Going to use them in my exotics. So we'll see. I never picked the Derby until the day before because when I did 20 in a row, I saw so many horses, you know, it was a problem. Just if there was ever anything of a problem, throw the horse out because they won't win. Because Tuesday, Thursday, you know, they'd say, oh, it's not a problem, not a problem. And then after the race, they go, well, you know, it really did turn out to be a problem. Yeah, okay, thanks for burning all my money. So I've learned just wait till Friday, see who's standing up straight, then make your picks. And look for some value. Don't bet the favorite. Don't bet on a color or something stupid like that. But you can just bet off what I say, and I get 10% of the wins and none of the grief.
I got to get you an NWO shirt. You just went full heel on everybody.
All right. Well, sometimes that works.
That was for my wrestling fans.
Yeah. All right. There you go. All right. Well, we're done. And are we taking a break, I think, right? So
yeah, take a break. We'll be back around what? Mini camps?
Yeah. Yeah, camps start like mid to late May. Rookie camp is coming up, I think the 14th or something. And then the next week is OTAs and like in a couple weeks of those. And there's like a week of mini camp is June 6th and 7th. So we'll show up at some point. And then
yeah, we'll pop up sporadically right before, you know, and then of course we get going full speed when preseason starts and all that good stuff.
Yep. All right. I'm Rick Snyder.
I'm Matt.
See you soon.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to Seasons of Discontent on the Hogstye Network.